Entrepreneurialism is lonely. I'll be the first to admit it. And oftentimes when we frame ourselves as, we're on an island all by ourselves, our minds will spin out of control. We feel there's no one to turn to, no one that understands us, and no one that's going through what we're going through.
How many of you guys feel like sometimes you are stuck in a box at home working and like you look up sometimes you're like, this is my life. I'm sitting in this office, grinding it out, beating my brains out, stressed out.
And that's the beauty here in Collective Genius. We get to talk about this stuff as peers, as mates, side by side with each other. When we don't address that, we can let this little voice of ours overtake our logical, critical thinking and drive us into the ground. And this is where fears are created. And we start questioning whether or not we're even making the right decision for us, for our organization, for our team, for our future. And it's in this state of uncertainty that oftentimes we freeze. We freeze from moving forward. We stay in our proverbial comfort zone, in the place that we find certainty, but it's in that comfort zone often that entrepreneur will stay too long, and he'll stay till he perishes, right? Because you can't grow in there. And the whole thing, we're not growing, we're dying. So the idea that we're alone has got to be dispelled.
Becoming a visionary leader, scaling your business, building wealth, giving back, those are the pillars. But the roof on the whole thing at the top is a community.
Okay, if you want to get there fast, go alone. If you want to go the distance, right? If you want to get through this journey, you got to build a team. You got to do it together. There are thousands of us out here all the time doing the same thing with the same struggles. And we get together here in CG. We talk about this stuff, and I allow kind of through a little process to bring your fears to the kind of top without having to worry about being judged or someone else questioning it, but allowing you to bring forth your real concerns about what's going on. You'll see quickly there's others that have been in your shoes, gone through exactly what you're talking about, have experienced it the same way. You're not alone, and there's a proven path out of it. That's the beauty of it once we actually kind of allow it to air out.
Pat has an extensive real estate background, but really where Pat makes his most impact and his superpower is between the ears. And the guy is just at a different level when it comes to the space between your ears. And I truly respect his ability to be a mind ninja.
I have a kind of an interesting background, and people ask me oftentimes, Pat, where do you get your insight? How can you see oftentimes what we can't see about ourselves? And I got to go all the way back to my days at playing rugby. I played 14 years of rugby. Many of those teams that I played on, I captained, even on the international teams. And it's in those days, I did not know it at the time, that I started learning about how to get others to perform at a higher level than they could do on their own. Now, advance that up through our real estate investment company, which at one time exploded into 15 people on our team, into a real estate informational training company, where my job was to enhance the performance of our students, get them to be successful in what they're doing. It's not always about what you know, about how to do it or what to do, because you can give that same information to 1,000 different people, but only a small portion of them are going to be successful with that information. I've become an expert at creating the bridge between what you know and what you actually do and the results that you get. And I have a gym back at home now that I use as a giant human laboratory because it's such a trackable space. People say they want to lose weight or get fit or do a marathon, right? So many say they want to, but very few actually do it. And it's not due to a lack of knowledge. It's not due to a lack of wisdom or insight or available information. That's all readily available to all of us all the time. I've become an expert in human behavior, not just the human behavior, but peak performance in human behavior, getting us to do extraordinary things that we're not able to do on our own. The good news is, even though human beings are uniquely different, we all are uniquely alike as well. And I know that sounds paradoxical, but it's true. We're predictable. I work in a space of self-improvement, which usually is a very intangible space. But what we do is we create tangible, trackable, recordable results or ways to measure our progress in this field. So no matter what it is, right? If it's our desire to go from a manager mindset into a leadership mindset, good. We got that, and it's very black and white. For those who like to track it, it allows for that to happen. For those of us who struggle with our own little inner voice that's constantly knocking us down, I got that. For those of us who have what I call EQ issues or challenges, emotional intelligence issues, where you let your emotions determine the actions that you take. And you're finding that, man, sometimes you make the right decisions, but other times because you're emotionally engaged, you make the wrong decisions. There's a way to very predictably and methodically work around that. So we create a new behavior that does away with the old behavior and the old habits and start getting new results. You've heard this 1,000 times all through our lives. You heard it, may not have always embraced it, but the statement is still true. In order to have something that we've never had, which is why we're all here in the first place, we've got to do something that we've never done, which means we've got to become someone we've never been. And that's where it begins. And that's what this is about. So the good news is we can become anyone we want to be as long as we're willing, able, and we desire to become that person. The beauty of entering into the collective genius family is you're now surrounded by peers who've left their ego at the door. You don't have to pretend to be someone you're not. As a matter of fact, we encourage you to bring the challenges, the fears, the things that are really holding you back, share with others so that, number one, they can share back and share with you what they've done to overcome the exact same thing. And as needed, guys like me and other people on the team will get with you to bring you deeper down paths. If you're stuck on something, your willingness to share, to the depth of your willingness to share, will be directly relative to how quickly and how deeply that will get uncovered and solved.
We're here to serve you. If you need something from our team, if we can enhance your experience, please let us know. We always talk about it in here. It's one thing to make money and do deals and be a great investor, but at the end of the day, we are always looking to push you as human beings, as mothers, as fathers, as spouses. Our ultimate goal is that you leave here as a better human being in every facet.
You take one of our members, Billy Ross, who I think's probably been a member 4 years now, and that's typical for membership in Collective Genius to renew and renew and renew. It's because of the steady, constant growth. When I first met Billy, he had a solid business, but no doubt he was struggling. He was chasing his tail. He was working literally 24/7. He was running his body into the ground. And he's a wonderful wife at home, and of course that performance at work challenges the relationship, and you guys all know that you can't separate business and personal. It doesn't work that way. If you fast forward 4 years, the amount of growth that Billy has made, not only in his business, and in his business it's amazing, many X times over where he started, right? But if you look at him personally, the amount of weight he's lost, the amount of muscle mass he's put on, the discipline he's brought into his life, the intention that he lives with, and this is extended over into his wife. He's got an amazing wife, and they both now embrace the culture and are so much better as human beings now than where they started even 4 years ago. And to watch this growth and this transformation, and that's the neat thing about it, it's not just in business, it's in all aspects of our life, because the truth is, in all of the areas of our life, they all overlap, they all affect and infect the other areas. And you can't simply improve a KPI in business and think that what's going on at home is gonna get better. They all gotta be done together. And he's a perfect student and example of how CG affects and infects our people. Take another gentleman, Jeff and Belinda Henry. Him and his wife are both members here of the Collective Genius. Now, I just saw him this past weekend, and he's down, I think, 60 pounds since our last get-together 3 months ago. He said, well, and I asked him straight up, I said, Jeff, what happened? He goes, well, I finally made the decision. And getting to talk to him about it, I'm like, Jeff, it's been a little while. You've been pondering this weight thing. What brought you over the hump? He goes, just listening and seeing those around me and starting to feel, man, that I'm not doing my job. I'm not being the guy I should be. I'm not setting the example for those around me that look up to me. And I've been wanting to do it, and I know it's good for me, and it finally happened. Now, that's one side of it. The other side of it is his business is probably 4 or 5x times where it was just 2 years ago. And again, is that, can you say, well, that's because of the Collective Genius? It's the culture of the Collective Genius and all of us in here that are constantly contributing to each other that allows that to happen. Is Jeff a beast? Did he work his bottom off? Does he deserve every bit of it? Absolutely, right? But at the end of the day, he'd be the first one to say, if it wasn't for our group here in Collective Genius, I wouldn't be nearly the man I am today, and my business would be nowhere near where it is here today. So some look at the cost of joining the Collective Genius as a lot of money, but the truth is it's not a cost, it's an investment. And the ROI in this investment is immeasurable. It does not stop, it keeps giving again and again and again. Money will not buy you freedom. It's a path to freedom, but it won't get you there until you overcome this little thing I'm talking about. When we put in alignment a vision, an outcome, a lighthouse that we're trying to achieve, right? And then we start gaining complete control of our ability to get there, which starts here is mindset control. And then we gain the leadership skill and evolve out of a job that we own and into a manner, out of management, and from management into leadership, and we're actually leading a team to produce results that we can never get on our own, that are moving us constantly and steadily in a straight line towards a desired outcome while we're operating in a state of authenticity, and we're not dressing up in this facade, this shell of somebody we think others think we should be. This process puts us in a state of power, and it's in here that this, whatever dollars are invested in the front end, are returned to us again and again and again by multiple X factors over time by joining the collective genius. So if you're experiencing any of the challenges that you've heard here, or if you're just ready to go to that next level and you want to cut the line, go to the link on the page here, click it, open up the application page, and spend a few minutes here and tell us a little bit about you. What this does is it allows us to get a feel for who you are before we get on the phone with you. We'll have a conversation, and if you're at the level that CG insists on for application, we'll invite you to our next meeting. You get 3 full days with our leadership team. You get to experience it as if you're already a full member. You'll get to meet all of the existing members that we do have here, embrace and understand and feel the culture. And at the end of the event, you still have an opportunity to decide if it's the right fit for you, or we get to decide if you're the right fit for us. So please go ahead and press the link, fill out the application, and look forward to talking with you.